That's red. Perfect.
James, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm a little nervous.
James,
Hey, let's get it.
here's the thing. We just like to, in my mind, I'm just having a conversation and Nathan's recording it.
Right.
So,
It's not voyeuristic
Yeah.
at all.
Okay.
it's not what?
Voyeuristic.
Oh, not even close.
So
But it's good. So, cool. Here we go. Welcome back to Jeff and Jash. Once again, Jeff can't be with us today. But Nathan, thanks for filling in once again.
you're welcome. Are you tired of saying that yet?
I think I will be soon.
Should we just shoot that as a separate clip and then drop it in on
Just
every
welcome
episode?
me. I think my favorite part is I try to say it so weird and then I just start talking normally. So I'm like, welcome back, and here we go again.
I
to
appreciate
Jeff and
that more
Josh.
than you talking the whole episode like that, because that would drive me crazy.
It would drive me crazy too. I think I would have a hard time with it. But anyway, hey, we got special guest today with us, James Jung.
Which one do I look at?
Any of them,
Any
really.
of them you like.
James, thanks for being
cut
on.
To whichever one you.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
The first person on our podcast who's made it into all three shots. I
Really?
think. I think so.
Props. I think
so.
I've only been in 2 shots.
Let's get it.
Yeah. Me too.
Big time.
Big time.
Yeah, we'll probably make sure that gets in there. Where you,
Well, oh yeah.
we'll edit that in.
Shout out to me in the future. I'm sitting here regretting life. I always do that to myself. I say, "Oh, I'll edit so and so," and then I'm like, "Now I have a responsibility to myself." That's fine.
Well, James, here you are on the show.
Yeah.
I was gonna think of a question off the spot, and now I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay.
This came up last night. I
What?
messaged you on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
About this, and I noticed. So with most people's Facebook profiles, a lot of them will have it set up so it's like mine is like facebook.com/Nathan.Robertus or something like that. Yours is Gukhyun Jung.
Yeah.
Is that your?
Oh, it's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It used to be full Asian
Voice.
because I had a friend in high school. He was half Japanese and half German, and his slash was half Asian. So to go along with it, I was full Asian, but then I guess I changed to my legal name, which
Okay.
is Gukhyun.
Okay, I was gonna ask. So your legal name is not James.
No.
So did you decide on James at some point? Mm-hmm. When was that?
There was a lot of history, but I'll give it to you straight. In high school, I went by Gukhyun. And then when I came to college in Montana, I changed to James because Gukhyun is a very hard word to say. And people would shorten it and leave out the second syllable and just say Gook. And that's not a pleasant word. I wouldn't encourage any listener to look it up, but if you want to, you can. It's a pretty derogatory term for
I knew
Southeastern
that.
Asians.
I've heard people say
didn't know
that
that.
pretty derogatory. Like in the Vietnam War, I think a lot they would use that term to refer to North Vietnamese soldiers as they're going out to fight them.
Interesting.
So really inappropriate derogatory term.
I had no idea.
Probably shouldn't be used.
Right.
And I think most people don't know that now. Like case in point.
No idea. Yeah.
Because we've as opposed to other derogatory terms, it's been effectively not used often.
Right.
So
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey,
Interesting.
one of them died.
Yeah.
Kind of.
kind of
Maybe.
yeah.
I don't know.
No, one of the derogatory terms.
Oh, yeah,
So we're
that's right.
thankful
Sorry.
for that. I mean, people aren't aware that that's a derogatory term, I guess. But still shouldn't be. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shut that
So,
down.
but you picked out the name James.
I picked out
Yeah,
the
what
name
was-
in high school?
in high school.
Okay.
So I printed out a list of male names, and I was like, I have a friend named David. I don't really like this guy because I have a bad memory
Yeah, totally.
associated with the name. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, James was the one that I
Yeah.
chose.
Okay.
I feel like that would be hard picking your name in high school, kind of. I mean, like everyone knows you as James now.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, even in like classes at MSU and TMS, do you tell professors that you can just go by James, or do they? Okay, because
right.
I'm just thinking like roll call, and they're like, Gukhyun, and you're like, you can call me James.
Did that happen?
Oh yeah, happens all the time.
Okay. Because
yeah,
it's not legally your name. It's just what you go by. Okay.
it's nowhere on paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's on Facebook.
I would have.
Facebook.
I don't know what I would have come up with if I had to pick my
Yeah.
own name at some point. I totally get what you're saying though about like, because sometimes I would think about like even when we were naming our dog, but I feel like it'd be worse if you're trying to name a kid, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, like Madison will be like, I like this name, and I'll be like, I knew a person with that name, and I hated that.
You're right. No, absolutely.
So
It's a process.
yeah, for sure. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know where James came from, but
Yeah.
he just came
So
from
it
the
wasn't
list
like
and-
any like inspirational person named James that you knew about, or it was just like, here's a name that I don't have any bad memories of, and I
Yeah.
don't really know many people named James, and
That's
so
right.
Nice.
okay,
Yeah.
there you go. I thought it was like John. I almost said John Adams, James Quincy Adams or something. I think it's actually John Quincy Adams, and now I feel bad.
Yep, it's on the tape.
Yep,
the tape.
there we go. History degree coming in strong.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
James Madison, that's a president.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No inspiration from our
No.
great president, James Madison.
I really didn't like history, so no.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine. I just thought I'd double check, but
And you were from South Korea. correct?
South Korea, born in South Korea in '95.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you still in South Korea in high school then when you chose that name, or like what is your story? I guess. there?
Yeah. I was born in Korea and then grew up there until I was in 5th grade and then moved to Boulder, Colorado.
Really?
And then was raised there basically from, 5th grade till high school. End
Okay.
of high school. And then came here for college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
why'd you come to MSU? Did you just want to leave Colorado and you got a scholarship, or?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Yep. Leave
Nailed it.
Colorado scholarship.
Thanks,
There you
Josh,
go.
for
Yeah.
pre-interviewing our guests.
Yeah,
Answering your
exactly.
questions for them.
Yeah, come on, Josh.
Nice. Okay. So, why did your family move to Colorado from Korea?
Yeah, my dad is a nerd in terms of he's a cell biology professor. So he had a visiting professor gig at CU Boulder, doing research and doing some teaching. So
Oh, cool.
that was really neat.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I remember there's a funny story. On the plane ride to Denver, it was like a 14-hour flight, and none of my family members have done a flight like that long. And I threw up as we landed
Oh,
Denver.
Did you make it in the barf bag?
Right, yeah. There's a barf bag in every airplane or every
Seat.
Yeah, airplane, every seat, and so I made it in there. And my
That's good.
brother was feeling pretty bad, but he was like, "No, I'm okay." So we get off the plane. We're riding to go home, our new home, and we were this family friend that we had met before we got there. Were driving us, and we're sitting in the back seat. And my brother says, "Oh, I'm not feeling so good." And I was like, "We got to pull up." And then so we're about to pull over, and then he just barfs everywhere in the back seat. It was horrible,
That's
but
too bad.
I don't know if we want that on there, but
Oh, it's gonna be on there.
it's
now.
gonna be on there. Hey,
don't-
sorry, brother.
If there's anything you want me to cut out later, just let me know.
Oh,
I
no,
will-
no, you're
I
okay.
will-
That was
I will cut
good.
it out. But that's unfortunate because like we've had that happen before. Like it's just a road trip or something makes
Yeah.
you queasy and like it's tough. But so had you been to the U.S. before you moved here, or did you just move here sight unseen?
Sight unseen, yeah.
Wow.
And what was
Sure.
that like?
It was more than like the sightseeing. It was just culturally really hard.
Sure.
I remember there are things that a little kid, like a 5th grader, would do with his friends that was totally not acceptable here.
Like what?
We call it chicken fight, where you cross your leg and you're just hopping on one leg and the other person is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And the point of the game is to knock them over with your knee.
I've done that before.
Right. And so it's a great game. I love it.
Wonderful. Do you want to have chicken fight after this, James?
Yeah, let's do it. So it is called a chicken fight, but so the elementary school kids in my class really did not like that and did not appreciate me trying to initiate this with other people.
Oh, would you just like go at him on one leg? And
Right,
be
I was like, "Hey, you wanna do this?" And they're like, "What are you doing?" And this kid's weird.
I feel like if I had known you in 5th grade, I would have totally, because I did that too. I was homeschooled to be fair, but okay, interesting.
yeah.
I've
All right.
never heard of that because in my mind, chicken fights are when you're in the pool and you get on somebody's shoulders and you try to push. So two people are on
Right.
people's shoulders and you're trying to push each other over into the water.
That is
And,
also
you
frowned
know-
on in a lot of places
Yeah,
in the U.S.
and it's like frightening being the guy underneath because the guy's legs are gonna wrap around to stay on, which just pulls you
Right.
under the water.
He's, like, choking
and
you out.
You're just getting choked out underwater. So like you're getting deprived of oxygen in two different ways.
Yeah.
and you're like, this is just I'm gonna die under this pool because we tried to chicken fight. And then they eventually decide to get off when they're, I don't know how, like for some reason you're falling over and you're trying to stay up,
Right.
But you can't if you have no control over the base, and so you're falling over and you just hold on tighter and try to keep your head above water, but you're holding this guy's head underwater with your legs. So your chicken fight sounds a lot more like breathable. which
Yeah,
is-
it is breathable, but
it's like
you
nice
fall.
cotton.
And there's another we wrestle in Korea where you kind of like grab the other person's belt area
Okay.
and you just wrestle standing
Interesting.
up, and you can't. I mean, it's all about how you use your legs and your momentum and your weight to trip the other person. That one also didn't go well.
Yeah, I feel like
I
I got off guard. Like, what are you doing?
I went up to someone. I was super bad in English. I was like, friend, and then I grabbed their waist, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I realized, okay, I'm an idiot. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's so as a like fifth grader too. That's totally like just imagining like the culture shock. Because sometimes I feel like that even in the U.S., if you go like to California from here, sometimes I feel a little bit of a culture shock. But what was it like? Had you seen snow before you moved to Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Once.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived on the southeast corner of South Korea, and there's a mountain range that cuts through South Korea that really prohibits any snow from coming to the southeast corner of Korea. But there was once in my life of the 10 years that I was in Korea that it snowed. So I've seen it once
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
before. So
Was it okay? Was it pretty magical, like living in Colorado and having snow every year?
oh yeah. My dad took a picture from our porch, a seasonal picture. So he took 4 in a year. And I still just remember like looking back, I'm like, man, that was so cool.
Sure.
Even as like 7th grader and freshman in high school. And I loved snow. It's fun.
I love it too.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess it like remind me of my geography might be a little shaky, but South Korea is a lot closer to the equator, right? Than Montana is at
I
least.
believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just climate wise, what's it like there?
Pretty humid.
Yeah.
Pretty humid, and yeah, and it gets cold, but it doesn't snow as much as
Yeah,
it does
because
here.
it's a peninsula just south
Yeah.
of China, basically. And
that's
so
right.
if you is it south, kind of east side of China, or
Yeah,
okay.
east.
So I mean, think of southeast China and then a peninsula coming off that. It's like
Sure.
that's the kind of geography you're going to expect. And it's
Oh
like
yeah,
humid, pretty warm. I'm imagining.
pretty warm. Yeah, especially in the summer.
Sure. And culturally, what's it like there? Because I think from my American perspective of what it's like in South Korea,
Yeah.
it seems like it's just a constant party. Like people, it seems like people just have a good time all the time in South
Yeah.
Korea. I guess maybe that's more coming from like K-pop perceptions of that
Sure.
stuff. But I don't know. I guess
And
that
my
just,
perception is just the only thing I know is like Seoul is giant and there's a
Yeah.
lot of tech. So
Yes.
it's just
A lot of tech.
you guys would love it.
yeah, you would love it. Fastest internet
Yeah,
Really?
in the
Really?
world. Yeah.
Wow.
do you know the numbers on that?
Oh no,
Okay.
Austin.
I don't.
Oh man, is 120 like? Is that even a thing? Like,
Yeah, he's got 120.
is that fast?
That's pretty quick.
That's-
yeah.
That's like apparently that's the average.
oh my word. Are you
okay.
serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
118.
Oh, dude.
Ah, okay, let's move to Korea, my dude.
Yeah.
My dude.
Okay, sorry. This might be the last episode of Jeff and Josh because Nathan and Austin are moving to Korea.
Yeah, we're replacing Josh with James. He's coming with us.
James, thanks for taking over for me. That's awesome. We're gonna have James. Welcome back to Jeff and Josh. Unfortunately, Jeff
and
and
Josh.
Jeff can't be here. I'm James, and Nathan is filling in for Jeff.
Because I know T1 internet here, like hospitals and universities, right? Those are what
Yeah.
are hooked up to T1. What is that on average? That's really, really fast. And it's usually an
Yeah.
aggregate of multiple connections.
It seems like it for reliabilities.
Because
Yeah.
MSU has like blazing fast internet. But
Really?
with- yeah. Well, so their Wi-Fi is terrible because there's
Oh.
1,000 people on it all the time.
Right. That's
But
what I
their,
was like, it's
backbone
painful.
They've
internet,
got
well.
a couple gig backbones.
So if you like plug right in, it's
which
gonna
you
be
I did all the time when I was
Really?
at MSU. Just bring
Okay.
an Ethernet cable, plug into the wall. It's stupid fast. So it's like
There you go.
it's almost like your WAN is a LAN at that point.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that some other time.
you
We
go.
have a new show coming out. I don't want
Yes.
to plug it too early because I don't want to get ahead of ourselves if we can it because it's too much work. But I think we're gonna do it. It's called Technically Correct, and Austin and I are just gonna get way into technology.
So if you want to
Wow.
watch a show where Austin actually talks,
Yeah.
There you go.
there we go.
and then we'll
Does
keep all our
Austin
tech
not
talk
talk?
off this show.
Yeah, most people ask if Austin ever actually says anything when I talk to them.
That's okay. Yeah, valid.
But that's okay, Austin.
Valid
I
point.
appreciate you sitting here and just laughing
I-
along
you know.
in our conversations.
Hey, we
It's
love
fun.
you, Austin.
You know, the funniest thing was the other day I was editing one of these episodes, and Austin was sitting next to me because sometimes we'll edit together because
Yeah.
we're a cute couple like that. And I was playing it like over the speakers instead of my headphones, and you or I said something, and Austin was sitting next to me, and he laughed in the exact same way as the recorded Austin laughed at
No
the exact
way.
same time, and it was the weirdest experience because I was
That's
like,
awesome.
both of these Austins are doing the exact same thing right now.
Welcome
That's
back to
funny.
the show where we talk about editing the show during the show.
You gotta start being meta about this.
Let's go back to talking about Korea, maybe. Or
Yeah, let's do
something
that.
with.
Golly.
The only other question
Yeah.
I had for James that I had like pre-planned
Sure.
was just that, and it's not even a question, but you were one of the most relentlessly positive people that I know. Like you were never not happy. And in fact, when I was talking to my parents, I had mentioned you and they were like, I don't know if I know James. And I was like, you know James. He's the one who's never not smiling. And they were like, oh, that guy. I was like,
Golly.
yeah, they know who James
Yeah.
is. So I don't know. What is that? What is, if this is a terrible question, feel free to not
Yeah.
answer, but what is it like just being that positive all the time? Or what is your secret to
What
always
is
being
my
positive?
secret? Oh my goodness.
Like, are you just a happy person, or is it something that like you have to make yourself be positive about stuff?
Yeah, in high school, I had a really dark stage in my life where I really wrestled through depression and thinking, okay, why can't I be happy? I want to be happy. And I see people who are always happy, and I wasn't one of those people. And I remember just like sitting in the bathroom because I was the only quiet place in the house, just crying, like thinking, man, I want to be happy. And I think I was looking for happiness everywhere else but the true source of joy and happiness. And that was in the Lord. And so when the Lord saved me graciously in college, I think that was when I realized, wow, there is source of joy and hope that is infinite. That's not finite like I am. So I would say that's where I draw joy from and happiness from. I also know that I'm not as positive as I would like to be always. And I can be very discouraging in my head. And so that's always an area of growth that
Sure.
I would love to see in my life happen if the Lord graciously provides.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I appreciate that. I know that whenever I play music at Grace, I just I look for James because I know he's going to be smiling.
Yeah.
And just makes me happy.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
there he is.
Hey.
Yeah.
Or I'm in the sound booth just creeping around. Sometimes I'll do that. Austin knows what I'm talking about, creeping
yeah.
around. There's James.
Oh, praise
Yeah.
God.
I also
Thank you.
once noticed you sat through like almost an entire church service with a backpack on.
With the backpack on his back.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes this is what it is. The pews at Grace, it's a decent distance. Like it's great. Like they're decently far apart, but I bring a lot of stuff to church. I don't know what it is. I bring food, I bring water, I bring books, I bring
Yeah,
whatever.
you bring your whole life to the church,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It's like a camping trip every
I'm
time.
I'm impressed. I'm like, way to go,
A fire
James.
starter.
I mean, if I see James and I see a backpack, I'm like, he's settling down here for a while.
Yep.
It's
Nice.
like,
There's dinner in there, there's lunch in there. Yeah, so there was a time when I think I knew I couldn't put it underneath the front
oh, it was
pews.
that too full.
It was too big, so I think I just sat with it.
Because you were like edge of the seat,
Edge of the
backpack between you and the back of it. And I was just like, what is James doing? Is he ready to like sprint out of here at a moment's notice?
He knows something we don't know apparently.
That's funny.
That's funny, but nice.
Oh man. Yeah.
You
Right on.
pro.
Going back to, I don't know if we have time for this, but going back to the cultural question.
Yeah.
K-pop's a big one. Entertainment is a big one. Food. You talk to any Korean and say, wow, how's the food in Korea? Do you miss the food in Korea? They'll be like, oh,
So, do you miss the food in Korea?
I miss the food in Korea.
What's
A lot.
the one dish that you that the U.S. cannot get right that you miss from Korea? Because like, have you tried Korean restaurants here? Like, I'm sure you've tried
Yeah.
like Whistle Pig, right? Is that pretty authentic, or is it very much like the U.S. version of fill in the blank?
No, it's pretty authentic, but I think you just miss these fresh ingredients that you only really get
Oh,
in
yeah.
in an area like
Yeah.
Korea. And
Because you're so close to the coast, pretty much
yeah.
everywhere down there, that it's like everything's fresh.
yeah,
And then
everything's
you've got
fresh.
Montana. Not close to a coast.
Landlocked, hard to get fish.
Yeah,
That's the
I
worst
mean, you
part
can
about
get
this.
trout
Yeah.
in Montana, but trout's so expensive at a restaurant.
It is.
Yeah,
It's like,
salmon's
I'm not-
even worse.
Yeah.
But okay, so what would that dish be that you really miss from Korea?
Probably kimchi.
Kimchi.
What's
What
in
is
Kimchi.
kimchi?
It's fermented cabbage that's seasoned with like spicy spices.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. Sounds
And they just can't get it right here.
Yeah, no, even people in Korea don't really get it right.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to come across people. You need to be like 90 to be qualified to make.
really. So this
Yeah.
90-year-old always lived in Korea kind of guy just
Yeah,
crushes his
crushes
kimchi.
it.
Sure.
So
I've always thought that was kimchi with a K.
yeah.
Kimchi. Okay. Because I know they usually serve it as like a side
Yeah.
with
Yes.
your meal, right?
Oh,
At
yeah.
restaurants. And I've always been like, I'll try it a little bit because it's sitting there in like the vinegar or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some with my chopsticks, and I'm like, I don't know, this is interesting.
Oh.
Like I never knew what it was.
Not
It's
gonna lie.
cabbage
As soon as
that's
you said
pickled.
fermented cabbage, I was
Fermented.
like, I'm not gonna enjoy that because I don't like fermented anything.
You're not like a
No.
booch.
Oh,
You don't
I
drink that zesty
I
Booch, just a
hate
booch.
hate kombucha. I've tried it a couple times. I'm like, you're just drinking vinegar.
It is.
It's
yeah.
really gross, I think. But I'm not a.
It's like carbonated vinegar.
It's like I don't, which I don't
Okay.
get. I'm like,
Let's be
It
fair.
has to be something good to
Bubbly.
begin with to be enhanced by carbonation, I think.
So you don't like kombucha either?
No.
You have roommates who brew the
Oh,
booch.
Yes.
Yeah.
James,
Yeah.
you like booch?
I like the
you
you're
guys
one of
are
the-
our roommates.
Yeah, we
That's
are. Yeah,
correct.
we're
gonna
roommates.
Address that.
We're just gonna subtly leave that out that Austin and James actually live together.
But if there's any true Korean out there, you could eat rice, seaweed, and kimchi, and that's all you need for a good meal.
So
Really?
is the seaweed separate from the rice?
Yeah,
Wait.
And is it dried or not?
dried. Yeah.
So it's kind of like dried, just a chunk of
Yeah, just a
that
rectangular
does-
piece.
man.
Is it
I
seasoned?
think if
Salted?
there's
Yeah,
any
salted.
place, if there's any place that would have a hard time eating food, it's anywhere outside the U.S. Honestly, but especially like as I hear about Asian meals, I'm like, I am just so picky, and I'm sure
we're finding this to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Have you ever had just seaweed on its own?
no, just wrapped around some sushi, and
Yeah.
I had sushi once, and I was just like, I just do not like this a whole lot.
That's
You
unfortunate.
know, I like the rice, I like the fish, but that seaweed I was just like, no, I can't do this.
I like
It's
seaweed.
just did not enjoy it.
You can get. They used to be able to get like a little packet of seaweed at Costco.
I know.
right? It would come in a sleeve.
And I would,
And that was surprisingly good.
James is like
Did you
so
like it,
excited
James?
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
See, I would
I
see
like that
like
too.
Anthony Skinner eating that stuff, and I'm just like, that's disgusting.
The worst part is what it does to your teeth. There's just tiny little pieces.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the point? It doesn't. It's mostly on your teeth, so you're not even eating anything. Honestly,
When we were in high school on the robotics team, we would eat that all the time, and we would see who could eat an entire packet at once. And I think Fred Nealon could do it. He just like
Oh,
insert.
he's another roommate of ours. He's
Yeah.
in Turkey right now, but yeah, he loves seaweed.
Yeah.
goodness, you guys.
See, I could
Props
get
to
down
you
with
guys.
that. I don't know about the kimchi as like something that I really love.
Okay.
But just the rice and seaweed.
I
that's
like
good.
rice.
Like
rice
white rice
is good.
Is that
Yes.
okay?
Is it
Because brown
sticky
rice,
rice?
is taken over these days.
I know.
Because it's the healthy option. I don't think it's much better for you, but I like me a white rice. It's good.
Do you guys go with the extra sticky style too, so you can
Extra
like
sticky.
chopsticks and everything? Nice.
Could-
I
yeah.
like rice. I love rice. Just
Good.
FYI.
Good, Austin. I mean, Josh. But yeah. Okay. Interesting. And so that's interesting that your favorite dish from South Korea is like a side dish.
Yeah.
So was there any like main dish too that like what's your number one go to? Like for instance, I have when I go to a New Mexican restaurant, I will order just a regular chicken taco as my barometer dish, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like I can now compare or like a donut place, I'll just get a plain donut first. Do you have like a barometer dish for like a Korean restaurant that you're like, if they can get
Is
this
this good?
right, then they probably know what they're doing?
That's a good question. No, I don't think so, but bulgogi is a good one. Bulgogi.
What's in that?
It's just marinated beef,
Oh,
okay.
but with like soy sauce, garlic, onions, sugar.
See, that sounds really good.
It's so good.
Is it
I'm all
then
about
cooked or is
And
it
it's-
just kind
yeah,
of
it's cooked.
That sounds great.
And then you put like lettuce, you put rice, you put some seasoning, and you put some more like veggies, and then you put the meat,
dude?
and then
Oh,
you
that
wrap
sounds
it, and then
prime
you just
time.
eat it.
You wrap it in the lettuce?
Yep, and then you eat the wrap,
That sounds good.
That's awesome.
and then you grill it in the center, and everyone's just
Oh.
getting at it.
That sounds great.
Korean barbecue, look it up. I don't know if you've ever seen anything on YouTube with that, but there's places in California that they do that, and it's like, oh,
do it
and do it
well.
right.
do it right. Yep,
Nice.
Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's sweet.
So, you have your favorite Korean foods, favorite American dish, like something that just has blown your mind every time, and it was something you never had before you came here.
oh, that's a good call.
I don't know.
I know that's a hot question, I'm sure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but maybe if there's nothing that comes to mind.
To be honest, I feel like American food's easy enough to make that they probably have good American food everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is like it's hard to make a lot of those dishes like
That's
like
true.
the ones you're describing. I feel like it's hard to like get it right.
Yeah.
But like a hamburger, it's like there's so many different ways to make it that it's hard to.
That's true.
Right.
I mean, you can make a bad one easily, but
Yeah.
like messing it up is. I don't know.
The crazy thing is pizza in Korea, I think, tastes better than pizza here.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, and I might get a lot of hate comments for this, but
No one's gonna. Comment.
yeah.
We only have positive comments.
Oh, good. Hey, way to go, commenters.
And if they
thank you,
turn
Bailey.
negative, we're gonna disable comments.
Shut that down. But yeah, I think pizzas in Korea are chewier.
You like chewy
their cheese
pizza?
is real. No, I'm just-
I mean, that is a problem. It's hard to find like good mozzarella on pizzas. You know, there's a lot of like that's one of the easiest ingredients I think to cheap out on, and so that's honestly like the barometer for my pizza
Is
experience.
cheese.
It's like what kind of cheese do they have? So I appreciate that they use good cheese there.
yeah.
Have you ever had like Chicago pizza in Chicago?
deep
No,
dish.
I
have
want
not.
to.
You've got to.
Have you
Oh yeah.
in Chicago?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's so good. I don't remember what place I went to. They had some like Italian name I can't pronounce, because that's Chicago. You know, you get some deep dish Italian.
You go buy
pizza
it from the
place.
mob or the mafia.
Yep,
I mean,
that's right. You kind of just walk down this alley and like, you want some pizza, and then they open up the trunk of their car and there's just pizzas. But no, it was literally like, I think, for all you listening on audio, this thick.
he's holding his fingers about yay far apart.
But it was like the thickest pizza I'd ever seen, and that's just so thick that one slice fills you up.
Yeah.
And then it's so good that you go for another slice,
Big mistake.
which, no, it was a great mistake.
Nice,
No, it's just really, really, really good pizza.
nice.
And we considered the place we went to, they will ship you a frozen pizza that you can just bake at home. But it costs like $30 because it's got to ship frozen. And you're shipping a pizza from Chicago to
Right,
Montana.
which is probably
so-
not cheap in the first place,
No.
just to get it there.
Yeah. And then just the frozen part, it's like,
yeah,
but it was so good that I considered it. But I was in high school.
Sure.
So it was like not a
maybe
good-
one of those days, we'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm
that would be
thinking
Get on the
podcast.
Yeah, podcast.
be
We're
sweet.
just going to eat deep dish.
Nice.
Authentic Chicago
James
deep
will invite
dish.
you over.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be sweet.
I would love to be here.
Awesome.
No, it's fun. Chicago pizza is good.
Let's get
Word.
That was the only thing I've been to Chicago once, and it was just a bad experience. It was cold. It was windy. We went to a White Sox game instead of a Cubs game.
Bruh.
I know.
don't
Rick,
Yeah, I know.
these are things I care about because I love baseball, and Wrigley Field is one of the oldest stadiums. Not the oldest. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati's older. But Wrigley Field is just like a classic American baseball stadium. And we went to the White Sox game in like a sketchy part of town. Apparently, the White Sox stadium is not in is in a less nice neighborhood than Wrigley Field.
Gotcha.
And I mean, you've got a team that's over 100 years old. It's been playing since the 1800s. Or you can go to see the White Sox. And so we went to the White Sox, and it was just all around disappointing.
I'm sorry.
And
Josh,
I'm taking
that
over
Your
the-
experience
yeah.
with professional baseball in one of the biggest cities in the world was not everything you hoped it
I
would
know.
be.
Yeah, that's how I take over a podcast, James.
I know. I was gonna say, which I think we're about out of time, anyways. We've been rolling for probably over 30 minutes at this point.
29.
29, there we go.
Anyways,
James, thanks for coming on.
thank you for
Appreciate it. This
having
is a
me.
fun
This is
conversation.
sweet.
James.
yeah.
I'd love learning about other countries, so that was fun until I took over.
Yes. It was even fun then. I had a passable time.
Passable time.
So awesome. Well, like
Thank
I
you
said,
for having me.
yeah, absolutely. That was a treat.
Yeah.
If you are interested in listening to this podcast not on YouTube, you can find it on Google Play and the Apple Podcasts app, possibly Spotify by the time this airs. We are in negotiations with them. And by that, I mean they're ignoring us. So
Exactly.
you could also find it on our website, jeffandjosh.net. And if you
N-E-T.
NET, we could not get .com. Somebody else bought that. And if you want to buy some merch, we might
have
be
some
selling some
t-shirts.
at that point.
Yeah.
Depending on how many I've printed. So, yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
And
for having me. This
We'll
is
be here next time. I think that's a new tagline because we will not see anyone next time. We're
the
in
one.
my living room. No one else is here.
And then this all just gets kind of edited out.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, there's gonna be music playing.
An outro.
It's not that exciting. No.